Welcome back, everyone. Smartphones are like an assistant. They can help you manage your life, give you reminders, schedule your life and your schedule. Now, you can also get ahead at work and answer emails while waiting in line for coffee. But what type of smartphone should you get? Joining me this morning is internet and tech expert Dave Hatter of Libertas Technologies. You know, we talked a couple of years ago, and both you and I were like going, I don't know if I want a smartphone because they're too big. Now I can't imagine living without one.
Well, I was going to ask you about that, and a lot of people say that. I talked to a lot of people who, you know, had a traditional cell phone like I did, and once you make the switch, you usually find they're so useful in so many unintended ways you hadn't thought of. Like, you know, because the devices have converged so much. It's a phone, it's a video camera, it's scheduling, it's calendaring, it's everything you need in one very portable device. As you can see, this is an HTC Imago.
Okay, now, so I've never heard of that phone before.
Well, it's a new phone. It's running Windows Mobile. There's basically 4 major platforms out there now.
Can we zoom in on this and take a look at this? Because I want to show the screen. Make that screen light up, Dave, and show me what that phone offers in terms of being a smartphone.
Well, first off, you'll notice it looks a lot like the Apple iPhone.
It does. They've
tried to make it look both physically and its inward, you know, software look like the iPhone. I'm trying to get myself straightened out here. Sorry. I've got to think backwards here, you know.
So how do you know if this phone is for you or if you need another type of phone in terms of a smartphone?
Excellent question. You know, the prices have come down. They're still expensive, but usually what I would tell people is if you work in an organization and they have a platform, because there's still 4 major platforms. You got BlackBerry, you got the iPhone, you got Windows Mobile, and you've got now Android, the new Google phone-based system. Okay, you know, in most businesses, particularly larger companies, they're going to support BlackBerry. It's still the #1 platform out there, the #1 penetration of phones. A lot of them support Windows Mobile. With Apple and or Droid, because it's new, you know, there's not as much support. So if you want it to sync easily with work, if you really want it to work well with other systems at work and so forth, you're probably better to stick with BlackBerry, at least for the time being. There's a lot of predictions, though, over the coming years, and what often happens in IT is user demand pushes IT to support other things.
Sure.
So as Apple gets more popular, and you know, there's a prediction that Droid's going to go up. It's going to take 10% of the market by the end of next year.
What are you finding on the internet? Like, first, is there anywhere we can go on the internet for help?
Yeah, there's plenty of places. You know, if you just go out and Google smartphone predictions for 2010, there's tons of stories. I send Helen some links. You should have them on your website. For example, you know, a lot of the statistics I got, they expect that the growth in the smartphone market from 150 million phones last year to about 250 million this year. I mean, it's going to be a huge leap. It really, I think, depends on what do you want to do with it. You know, if you're going to use it at work, you ought to figure out what's going to be supported at work so it's as easy as possible for you to just plug it into the system and work. You know,
and sync everything up.
Yeah, because to your point, you know, it can be a great productivity booster. You don't have to be tied to a desk. You can work from wherever you are to some degree. But if you can't make it work with your other systems, it's just going to be a big pain.
Okay, we've all heard about the Droid, we've heard about the Google phone, and all that kind of cool stuff, right?
Yep.
Does BlackBerry have anything coming down the pipeline? Because it seems like they're getting beat on this.
Well, I think they are, but only because, I don't think their marketing is ever... You know, when they first came out, they were very simple to use and integrated with these back-office systems. So there was a huge surge. You know, their marketing is obviously almost non-existent. You know, those new Droid commercials are very cool, like where they're firing the pods down. I mean, I
wanted to buy that.
I need it. What is that? I got to have one of those.
Right, exactly.
I think that's part of it. I think they need to sort of rethink their marketing strategy. But when you look at total penetration out in the marketplace, BlackBerry is still by far the largest thing out there. You know, Windows Mobile is by far and away in the rears. They're not doing very well out there. I don't know what Microsoft's going to do with that. With this particular phone, again, they've tried to bring it up to speed.
Sure.
You know, I think you're going to see Google surge. They've sort of become the new Microsoft, right? They target a market, they go after it, they generally do very well. And I think you're going to see a huge battle between Apple and Google for that corporate space that so far neither one of them have really been able to get
penetrate,
into.
You know, you can look at the predictions by going to our website, fox19.com. All the websites Dave has talked about is there as well, including a link to his company, Libertas Technologies. Happy New Year, Dave.
Thanks, Rob. You too.
We'll see you next time. We have much more straight ahead on the Fox 19 Morning News.